Hi everyone, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. Were you one of the thousands of people that said they felt or did feel that magnitude 3.9 earthquake which struck near Independence, Utah this morning at 12:11 local time? The epicenter was approximately 3 kilometers, 1.9 miles northwest of Independence and 44 miles southeast of Salt Lake City at a depth of 11.3 kilometers. No damage or injuries were reported, though several people felt the quake. Utah experiences frequent minor earthquakes, with experts noting that there is a 57% chance of a magnitude 6.0 quake along the Wasatch Front in the next 50 years. So here we have Google Earth. And this here is the Uinta Mountains up to the north. And over here is the Wasatch Fault Zone. And here we have Salt Lake City. USGS gave it an intensity level of 4. And here we have the felt reports. Let's see, we got an intensity level there. 85 kilometers to the north, which would be about 52, almost 53 miles. Croydon. They're at Magna, about 52 miles or 82 kilometers, intensity level 4. That's significant. There was a swarm a while ago, and I'm going to go more into that location and the dangers of a large earthquake there. That would be the West Valley Fault System. Alright, and then we got Salt Lake City, intensity level 4. 6 reports there. Heber City, 62 reports, intensity level 4. Midway, 233 reports. More from Heber City, 14. And then another 19. Here on EMSC is the felt reports that were sent in. Heber City, felt this earthquake, woke me up from sleeping. Whole house started shaking. Povo, they were woken up. The whole house shook. Heard a low rumble. Thought a huge truck must be going by. Midway, walls rolled and shook. Another report from Midway. Swift ramp up to a strong shaking and rattling of my house. Seemed my walls were moving, but so was I. Loud rumbling noise. Yeah, a lot of people were woken up. Another report from Povo. I was sitting in my bed and felt it shake for a moment. Didn't realize it was an earthquake until it had already stopped, and my husband and baby slept through it. I was just confused, not startled, and I didn't think anything fell. Pleasant Grove, the entire room shook for a few seconds, objects clattering, but nothing fell over. On the second floor of the house, so I felt it pretty strong. Here they felt it in Alpine. Another one, child room on east side of the house, had shelves shake. West side of the house felt like a floor fan flipped over and was shaking the bed. Now, intensity level 4 means it was felt maybe like a 3 magnitude. Felt indoors by many, outdoors by a few. At night, they were woken up. Dishes, windows, and doors were rattling. Automobiles rocked noticeably. Now, this is important for people that live there along the Wasatch Fault Zone and in Utah. Back on April 17th, they had a Great Utah Shakeout. It's an annual event designed to raise awareness to the risk and ways to mitigate the damage. Some efforts to help Utah prepare for an earthquake have been unfunded or seen cuts. Funding requests for an early warning system have not seen much. the Seismically Safety Commission was disbanded as a part of a larger effort to reduce the number of boards and commissions the state has. Yeah, it's always about money. The legislature rejected a bill that was submitted by Representative Peterson. He said he has no plans to revisit it. Still, he hopes that people would continue to heed experts' advice and prepare. Independence, Utah is located in Wasatch County. Once again, down over here is that 3.9. It is near the Wasatch Fault Zone, one of the most significant earthquake fault systems in the state. The Wasatch Fault is a normal fault characterized by vertical movement and stretches approximately 240 miles from southern Idaho through the northern and central Utah, including areas near Independence. It is divided into 10 segments with 5 considered active, each capable of producing earthquakes up to a magnitude 7.5. The Wasatch Fault has a history of producing large earthquakes with an average reoccurrence interval of about 300 years for a magnitude 7.0 or greater. Quakes across its central segments, and the last major earthquake on the Provo segment near Independence occurred approximately 200 to 700 years ago. This suggesting that the area could be due for a significant event, though exact timing, they can't predict it. Now, the less studied West Fault Zone may have also contributed to seismic risk. And that is up over here. I got it circled and drawn out. In 2020, a magnitude 5.7 earthquake, which occurred on or near the Wasatch Fault, highlighted the potential for strong ground shaking in the area due to the fault's shallow dip, amplifying seismic waves in the sedimentary basin of the Wasatch Fault. I got the 2005 quake drawn out, the 5.7, and this area could have as large as maybe a 6.5. The West Valley Fault Zone, comprising of faults on the floor of the northern Salt Lake Valley. Like the Wasatch Fault Zone, the West Valley Fault Zone, shows evidence of recurrent movement of the geological past within the last 10,000 years. But unlike the Wasatch Fault Zone, which has been subject of dozens of detailed scientific studies, relatively little is known about the behavior of the West Valley Fault Zone. Now, in the past, I've talked about this area and how if they have a large earthquake, the lake could actually tip, and drawn out in green would be a huge area of flooding. Back in, let me go up over here, 1936, at the northern end of the Great Salt Lake, there was a magnitude 6.6. They have found evidence of maybe 5 to 6 Provo large earthquakes. Each one displaced the surface vertically, uplift, by about 3 to 6 feet. The older, near Bonneville deposits, they show that they had a vertical displacement of at least 52 feet. Over by Bailey Lake, there's an area close to the International Airport. Movement there on what they call the Granger Fault had created 2 scarps uplift anywhere between 1 to 3 feet high. Now, for right now, they don't know whether the West Valley Fault Zone could erupt simultaneously with the Salt Lake segment, or if they're triggered by themselves or occur as aftershocks, or perhaps they could have hours, weeks, months later. I have often talked about how earthquakes on one fault zone, this right here is the West Valley fault zone can trigger earthquakes on other fault zones, such as the Wasatch Fault Zone, drawn out here to the right, to the east. Yeah, it could have one there and then trigger, the West Valley Fault Zone. And seeing how that your legislator has cut funding for earthquake preparedness, that is not good. Just another indication that you're going to be on your own during a major earthquake, maybe for hours afterwards or even days. So what are your thoughts? Put your comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And please be prepared. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.